and sometimes more. So again, we really, especially on Maui, the people here are amazing, hardworking, diligent people, and I think that's congratulations to all of us.
Yes.
And in a moment, let's remember that as a special spreading of aloha. No matter where we are, the people of Maui are working extremely hard, so let's give ourselves a break every so often.
Yeah, that unemployment picture is a really good indicator that we've hit bottom. The worst is behind us. It's time to get out there. And if you've been sitting on the fence, call your realtor up, call Betty, call Casey Fukuda over here at Sakamoto Properties. Get in our cars. Let's show you guys what's out there. There's some really great buys. And, interest rates are at historic lows. My buyer I'm working with just locked his loan at 4.75% for a 30-year fix. That's unheard of.
That is unheard of. Unheard of.
Yeah, I told him in about 4 or 5 years from now, when he looks back and he looks at his loan and everybody else is paying 7.5% or 8%, he's going to be glad he locked and bought his property, today.
Well, Casey's right. Give us a call, Sakamoto Properties, 669-0070. You can call our website. You can check out our website, sakamotoproperties.com. Or Casey, why don't you give them your cell phone and website?
Yeah, give me a call, Casey Fukuda, Sakamoto Properties, 264-5362. Or you can check out my website at enchantedmauihomes.com and give us a call. Let's work together.
A couple of different things. Casey was doing some of the statistics. I was running this morning just how many properties have sold on Maui since the first of the year, and that figure is over 500. Now that was maybe 580, and it included it included everything: land, condominiums, residential. But again, for anyone that's thinking they want to buy and listening to us trying to say over the years a recession is a terrible thing to waste. From the standpoint of Maui real estate, it's going away in a hurry.
I think so. 500 units sold is a great number for the first 3 months of the year. Also, we got to think about the fact that a lot of higher-end properties are being sold right now. So it looks like the luxury market's coming back in, and we're not just seeing short sales and bank-owned properties selling out there.
No, our office alone, we have 2 Pineapple Hill homes that are in escrow. One is set to close, 102 Woodrose, which was listed at $2,290,000, and really a fabulous, fabulous home, and one of those buys that I don't think we'll see again. We had it in escrow, and then I had some people that showed up this last weekend, or maybe it was Thursday or Friday, but they came in, and I showed it to them just because we had still this one little problem happening, and they went in and fell in love with it, and then unfortunately wanted to buy it, and the other one stayed together. And then we opened escrow on another house, totally different people, 232 Crestview, listed at $3.3 million. So same thing. I think we're hitting a time that these properties, the big numbers, are starting to happen. We've got some interest in a property at the Plantation, 102 Honolulu Place, which is listed basically at $10 million. So again, we've got some amazing interest in the upper end of the market and the lower end of the market also.
Yes, there's a lot of properties out there that people are very interested in. And speaking of that, how about some quick picks, Betty?
I'm in for quick picks. Give it a run.
Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about one of the properties that I have for sale that's been on the market for a little while. Betty and I both have this co-listed. It's a great one-bedroom, one-bath, 900-plus square feet, Maui El Dorado. Great price, $349,000. And the El Dorado, Betty and I have talked about that many times on the radio show. It's a great property with the cabanas out on the beach, very quiet. A lot of people who visit there and stay there say it's the best property in West Maui.
Condominium-wise, I always call that the granddaddy of them all because it was pretty much the first condominium that was built in Kaanapali. Now, I think there's something else, but let's just call it the first. It's poured concrete. It's fabulous construction, totally air-conditioned, studios, 1 and 2 bedrooms, leasehold. But there's been negotiation. They actually already own a portion of the land, and there's negotiation that's been going on again, off again, to purchase the rest of the land. But again, there's no finer place. and the cabana out there is worth the purchase price.
Yeah, very, very large acreage and low density. None of the buildings are over 2 stories high, and some of them have fabulous views.
Yeah, there's some really great views that are happening. As we're going through the quick picks, something that I feel like we were a little silent about as we got started today, the earthquake in Japan and what followed it. And it's such a frightening thing, and I've seen so many different organizations, the Red Cross, and I think let's all try to step up and make some sort of a contribution to help out in Japan, but be very certain who you're dealing with, because we've also been hearing there's some scams set up that are doing that, and I think let's be real careful, but it could be us. And don't you think, Casey, we escaped a bullet?
Yeah, we really dodged that bullet with the tsunami from the earthquake last month. And that was an interesting evening, and I'm sure everybody here on Maui has their own story to tell.
We had Casey at our house. We're fortunate and living at Pineapple Hill, and it's up very high. So anytime we have some sort of a little crisis, Casey and his wife Valerie, we try to get them to come over, and Mitch Mitchell, who's been on the show quite a bit, and us. And we had Sue Cooley, who's been so generous with Lahaina Luna High School. She was in town and has a place down on the water, so she came up and her daughter, and we had a house full, and fortunately we did eventually go to sleep and got up at 3-something to see what was happening. I think Casey had stayed awake, hadn't you, all the time?
I don't think I went to sleep that night, but, we were very fortunate that there really wasn't a big event here in Maui.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everything I keep seeing in Japan, we've got to all give them our extra prayers and thoughts, and let's make a donation somewhere to try to help them out.
Yeah, be sure, like Betty says, that who you give your money to is actually going to make the money go to a good cause.
Absolutely. Back another quick pick. Sorry to move off that too quickly, but 459 Front Street, over 16,000 square feet of land. It has an older home on it, which is very livable. It's great. It sleeps quite a few, and a huge lawn on it. The price was just adjusted to $4,850,000, which has gone down $1 million. Seller is saying to us, let's get this sold. And it's a pretty amazing property. We're sitting open house there some portion of every day. So if you give us a call, we can get you in any time. If you call our office and you just want to say, I just want to go by the open house, but I want to be sure, again, 669-0070. But if you're anywhere thinking Front Street, take a look at it. And if nothing else, talk to our agent who's there. Give Casey a call, 264-5362, and he can fill you in. There's so many great bargains, I think, on Front Street from the standpoint of condominiums, et cetera, or near to Front Street. Don't you think? Casey?
Oh, that's such a great property. I mean, it sits right on the beach, and it's got a great sunset view. Fantastic and fabulous property.
And it didn't have any tsunami problems. There were properties that got a fair amount of water. This one, it looked like the water did come up on the grass a little, but not very far. And it seems like it's actually, well, at least for this, it was fairly protected and was fine. So, again, quick pick, Case.
I've got a entry-level vacation rental direct oceanfront condominium. Just came back on the market after being in escrow for a couple of months. Fell out just before we were going to close. Maui Kai 503. It's a great property up on the 5th floor. Direct oceanfront view. It's a studio, fee simple, and it's listed at $359,000. It's a great price considering the high water mark in the Maui Kai for a studio is $550,000. So a great buy.